Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final end year video with our top 5 metal albums of 2019. Alright guys, we got quite a bit of stuff to go through. We each have a top 5. I do not know his top 5, he does not know my top 5. We also asked you guys to give us a bunch of questions that we can answer in this video, so we chose a few of those questions. We're gonna kick it off with one of those questions, and that question is, do you prefer the current state of deathcore or the original deathcore with the old school days with like All Shall Perish and Suicide Silence and things like that?
You know, that's an awesome question.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big comparison of the old and new sound.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that kind of makes me gravitate towards the new sound is that you have the foundation that is the old sound and you're adding more on top of that. So you just get an even bigger package than just the original stuff. Yeah. The original stuff is sick, I love it, yes. But it feels like you can still have that today and more. Like now you can have your cake and you can eat it too. Yeah. with these bands nowadays. I
agree with TV Fish. There's so much more awesome elements added on top of that foundation, like the blackened style. A lot of bands are going with like adding choirs and stuff like that to their sound just to give a more full sound. A little bit of clean vocal here and there for experimentation, but I'll still have a soft spot in my heart for that original core deathcore sound, but I still have to prefer the newer stuff. I think that they've evolved in a good way, so I think deathcore is definitely at a highlight right now, so that's it.
With that being said, we're gonna get into our number 5 pick of the year. So in my case, we're both going to reveal at the same time, but we're just going to say something before each album reveal.
Yeah.
But it's going to be at the same time. Neither of us know who's picked what. My number 5 is an album that is so fresh to listen to. It was a step outside the comfort zone, and it was just if I were to describe it as one word, I would say beautiful.
Okay, my number 5 is also, I found refreshing. I found it to be a dynamic album, and it's kind of more on the softer side of metal, but it goes hard when it needs to go hard. All right?
So revealing number 5s.
What do you got?
All right, I got The Valley by Whitechapel.
And I got The Summoning by Bloody Hammers.
Ooh.
Interesting. Cool. So, next question. This was a good question that was asked too. Most anticipated album of 2020. And we decided we're gonna pick 3.
All right, so my 3 are Project Regeneration by Static X, Quadra by Sepultura, and Immortal by Lorna Shore.
Right on.
I'm super hyped for all 3 of them.
I'm hyped for those as well. My 3 picks are Suicide Silence new album, Silosis, and King Diamond.
Also hyped.
Yeah.
Super duper hyped.
Yeah. And with that said, we're gonna reveal our number 4 picks for top album of 2019. So my number 4 pick is, I picked this because of its technical prowess and because I believe this is the best work from this band so far.
All right, my number 4 is just a testament to how interesting this band is and how they do so many things and pack it all in one perfect package. So our number 4 album of the year is Both of Them Macro by Ginger.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
sick.
Phenomenal album.
Awesome stuff.
So now we're going to be answering another question. This is a really cool question. What is your favorite vocal performance of the year?
This one, I gave some thought to this, but there was one answer that kept coming into my head, so I gotta go with this answer. It's Phil Bozeman. Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel took a step outside his comfort zone, did the clean vocals on The Valley, and it worked so damn well. I could not believe it. I give major kudos, major props to Phil. I give him that award for me, vocal performance of the year.
Now I'm gonna be completely honest. You just took the words right out of my mouth because Phil Bozeman is also my pick for vocal performance of the year because I listened to all the albums throughout this year, but his vocal performance just stood out among every single other one. Just everything about The Valley, all the emotional charge and just everything he put into that performance just cements him as like the best one.
Yeah, well deserved. I'm not surprised you picked that.
I'm not surprised you picked that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another question?
Yes.
Do another question. Favorite concert you went to this year and best live performance?
You know, we went to a lot of sick concerts this year, individually and together. Now for me, the best one honestly was either the Summer Slaughter Tour, which had a bunch of different bands, including Cattle Decap, Carnifex, Necrogoblicon, Rivers of Nile, and Lorna Shore. But also the Slipknot show was sick, which had, Slipknot, Behemoth, Volbeat, and Gojira.
Yep.
But out of all those performances, out of those two shows, the best performance was Gojira. Those guys tore the house down at that show.
They had a sick light show.
The sick light show, everything was crazy. There was an inflatable whale people were throwing around.
Yeah.
The flying whale. It was amazing.
As that was amazing. I'd have to say my favorite show was probably the Summer Slaughter Tour, only because I scratched a couple bands off my bucket list. One of those bands being Necrogoblicon, who I'm going to say was my favorite live performance because they're such a fun band. They got fun songs. They got crazy pit songs. They had a beach ball going around and people were batting around. Then you got John Goblicon on the stage acting all crazy. Then he's out in the audience and all that stuff. Super fun time, super fun concert, super chill guys, awesome stuff. I'd really love to see Necrogoblicon come back again.
Same.
That'd be sweet.
They were sick.
But with that said, let's get to number 3. So number 3, my number 3 album. This is an album where every song bangs. It's got amazing riffs, shredding vocals. I feel like the vocals on this band are a bit of an acquired taste, but they are great. Once you get into them, they just sound so amazing.
Okay, my number 3 is a band that was a little bit under the radar for a long time, and then now they've started to really pop up in relevancy, and this album is such a good example of that. How amazing every song is, and just how it all comes together. So our number 3 album of the year is...
What's yours?
Alright, so mine is Melancholy by Shadow of Intent.
And mine's Orphans from The Agonist. Nice choice. Cool.
Alright, so now that number 3 is out of the way, we're going to answer another question. Vile, what was the most disappointing release of the year?
This isn't a fun question to answer because you got to be a little bit negative. There was really no album that I thought really just sucked ass if I was hyped for it. If albums that I didn't like, I already kind of wasn't into them already. So the most disappointing one for me is probably Thy Art Is Murder's Human Target. Only because every other deathcore band that released material this year stepped it up. Thy Art Is Murder didn't. They stayed plateaued and they stayed on the same level as they always have been, which is not necessarily bad. It's not a bad album, but it's just disappointing that they didn't take that leap. They didn't take that step forward and evolve like the rest of the genre seem to have done this year. So if that's a fair assessment to say that's disappointing, then that's my pick.
I think that's a fair pick. Now in my case, it like you said, it's not a fun question to answer, but for me, if there's anything that I had some general excitement for that let me down, it had to be Talvio by Sonata Arctica.
Ooh, yeah.
That album, I listened to that band's discography, I'm like, yeah, these guys are sick, I'm so hyped, And then that album came out and I'm like, it's kind of lame compared to everything else they've ever done.
Yeah.
The direction that the band's going is just not a direction I was fond of, so I'd have to say that is probably the biggest disappointment for me, which is, it could have been worse. It could have been Evolution by Disturbed, but that was last year. Anyway, so we're gonna get going now with our number 2 album of the year. Now for me, this band is super extremely close to my heart, and the last album they did before this one for their discography was a dud, and this album that came out was a fucking home run, grand slam, and it blew my mind so much. That much power is why this album is my number 2.
My number 2 is just, it's a beast of an album. Everything from the guitars, the drums, the vocals, the bass, everything on this album impresses me. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So number 2's.
Alright, so yours is Melancholy.
Melancholy.
Mine is Distance Over Time by Dream Theater.
Nice. Cool.
Super amazing.
Not bad.
So now we're gonna answer another question. We're gonna talk about our favorite album art of the year, and we're just gonna mention, a few per each of us.
Yeah, we each picked 3.
Yeah. So what was your favorite album art of all the
album arts were Death Atlas by Cattle Decapitation, Incauda Venenum by Opeth, and From Hell With Love from Beast in Black.
All right, pretty
awesome album arts.
Good picks. Mine include also Death Atlas by Cattle Decapitation, Atonement by Killswitch Engage,
sick,
and World War X by Carnifex.
Nice.
All 3 of those album arts were rad.
Yeah, really cool. Okay, so we're almost at our number 1s, But first, we want to do some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Right? So we each picked 3 honorable mentions. These are albums that didn't quite make our list, but we still think they're solid albums that were, you know, great in 2019. You want to go first? Go ahead.
So I'll just list them?
Just list your
I'll
3.
list them. So first HM for me is The Nothing by Korn. Sick album. Like all 3 of these albums are sick. I'll just say that for now. They just did not make the cut. The second one is World War X by Carnifex. And the third one is Death Atlas by Cattle Decapitation.
Good choices. I'm gonna go with Apoptosis from Allegiant, Battle of Yaldabaoth from Infant Annihilator, and The Valley from Whitechapel.
All right. Now with that being said, it is time for our number 1 album of the year. Now I'm really curious about this because, you know, we've been doing this channel for a few years now, and in both the past 2 years, our number 1 has been the same, and I'm curious if that trend is going to continue this year. My number 1 album, it just feels like perfection when I listen to it. It gets me going in every sense of the word. Everything about this album is just fucking amazing.
Yeah, I picked this album because I feel like it's the most well-rounded album. I think it's instrumentally satisfying, it's lyrically interesting, it's diverse in sound, but everything still fits and feels right on this album. My number 1 album of 2019 and TV Fish's number 1 album of 2019 are We Are Not Your Kind
by Slipknot.
I had a feeling.
You know what?
had a
By the
feeling.
time we got down to number 1, I'm like, I think for the third year in a row, our number 1s are the same.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, you know? Like, with albums that are this strong, an album like We Are Not Your Kind being that strong, like, once again, we both have a number 1. That's how good these albums are.
Yeah. And you know what? Any albums that we have reviewed, I'll leave links in the description so you guys can check out our reviews if you want to know more about why we feel the way we did. Especially We Are Not Your Kind. Some people might be going, why is that your album of the year? Watch our review and see the things we say about that. It's one of our most comprehensive reviews that we've done. And I don't know, you'll definitely get a feel for why we picked this album.
For sure.
I think that's it for this video. So we want to thank you guys for an awesome 2019. We saw great growth on the channel. We got lots of awesome fans. You guys are amazing. You guys sent us some great questions. We want to know in the comments below what your top 5 metal albums of 2019 are. That's it from us for now. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
See you guys in the new year. Keep those heads banging.